Okay.
Can we test the mic real quick?
Sure. How you doing? Okay. Rob St. Mary with the Detroit Free Press here at Comic-Con with not the little green man, but the big green man. Is it easy being green?
Do a quick intro.
Can I get you to hang on to my? Can you hang on to my book real quick? Hi, Rob St. Mary with the Detroit Free Press here at Comic-Con, and I'm gonna find out if it's easy being green, because that guy would know. So let's find out. All right, here we are. Good to meet you.
How you doing? How's it going?
Good. Rob St. Mary with the Detroit Free Press. And
Got to talk louder, baby, noisy.
yeah, Rob St. Mary with the Detroit Free Press. And I think the big question I have watching you is it easy being green? Because Kermit the Frog says it's not.
No, not really, because the makeup took like 3.5 hours to put on. I had to endure that makeup 12 to 14 hours a day, and you wonder why I was so pissed.
As for here in Detroit, you had an honor this week out at the stadium?
Yeah, I got the pit. I threw it in. Finally made close to the catcher's mitt. I didn't want the ball to be bouncing around like Bruce Willis.
Did you have any practices
I
beforehand?
didn't even practice, but I was a little concerned about it. But at least I just focused to put it in.
When you meet with the fans, when you come to events like this, what are some of the questions that you often get?
They tell me about how much their mothers hated me because with the kid, they're breaking the furniture, putting holes in the walls, smashing TV, and also how much it affected their lives and everything.
What's something that maybe people don't realize about the role or about you in the work?
The fact that because I was able to show a pantomime, that means acting without speaking, the emotional, that's what made the character so popular.
As for the Hulk character itself, I mean, he's been around. You've been a part of that long history. What is it that connects? Why do you think people connect to that character?
Because every one of us has a little Hulk inside of us, so he expresses how we feel and everything. So that's why worldwide, every nationality embraces it.
What's been the latest for you, for fans that want to know what you're up to?
There's 3 movies coming out. I did a comedy of Game of Thrones. It's called Purge the Kingdom Beyond the Summer, and 2 other films.
As for your time coming to Motor City Comic Con, how is Detroit?
Great. I'm a lot of fun. A lot of fans here. The show, over 70,000 people. It's like a great family show here.
Well, I want to thank you. You didn't crush my hand too much, so.
Thank you. You too. Take care. You gotta take care of this problem.
Take care.
really particular, so I wanted to give you all the info.
No, I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
I'll be cool. I'm going to ask about some questions.
Okay.
Okay. Should I just go up there?
Okay. Can we go the other way?
You think I can freaking out?
Hi, it's Julie Hines of the Detroit Free Press. We're here at 2019 Motor City Comic Con, and we're going to talk to Barry Williams, aka Greg of the Brady Bunch, about his new project.
Handle a little business, and then
Sure. Is it okay? I'll hang
appreciate
here.
it.
I always forget how long it is down in this place to live. This side warm, that side's hot.
Talking to us here at Motor City Comic Con. Can you tell me, I got to find out a little more about the HGTV Brady House project. Do you know when that's going to air? Has the air date been set?
I do, and it has been set. And this has been a year-long project. HGTV bought the Brady House, and they are creating or recreating the set that we filmed on in Hollywood as a real and practical functioning home behind the house that we see on TV. So it's been a year long. All 6 Brady kids have been involved with helping recreate and re-envision the original rooms. It is set to air, it'll be 4 to 6 episodes, and will air in September, coinciding with the 50th anniversary of the first airing of the Brady Bunch in 1969.
Now, before I ask about that, I got to say, did you have to do hammer, saw, nailing for this? Did you have to get into that, or was it more consulting?
Oh no, all of it. Sledgehammers, nail guns, ripping off paneling, building rafters, repurposing materials. It was great fun, and they let us participate as much as we wanted, and I'm pretty handy with a screwdriver, so it worked out great.
I want to to ask one more question about the 50th anniversary. I mean, this is a pop culture landmark in American culture, and I wanted to ask,
Motor City Comic Con and pop culture show.
what is it about it at this point that you think still pulls people to the show here in 2019?
They're a combination of things that I attribute it to. The one is that it's never been off the air in 50 years. So there are multiple generations, and it's something that parents can do with their children. I think it has a lot to do with the relatability. Most of the fans that I have that are not grown up, but the new fans are kids that are going through the same things that we went through on the show. And so I think if you have a family, then you can relate to the youngest or the oldest or the middle child and the jealousies and the storylines that we film. And if you don't have a family that functions quite as well as the Brady Bunch, and who doesn't, it's kind of an ideal. It's kind of a picture or a snapshot of how a family that really did function well might work. Kids that trust each other, parents that trust their kids, respect, or in the words of Mike Brady, one for all for one.
Well, that's great. We'll be looking forward to seeing the inside of the real Brady house.
It's called A Very Brady Renovation, HGTV in September.
Of course. Thank you so much, Barry Williams.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so. Hi, how are you? You got time to talk, or? And just go around?
Detroit Free Press, I've heard of you.
That's right. Good. I'm just going to do a little intro. Hi, I'm Rob St. Mary with the Detroit Free Press, and we're here at Comic-Con, and this big guy standing next to me is Benjamin Byron Davis. I'm tall, and I'm feeling.
I don't know if you're that tall, but okay.
All right, big guy. Well, you may know him from several places, including, one of the things that I think about is you start as an actor. Did you ever think that video games would be?
As an actor, you're going to take whatever job you can find. But I certainly didn't anticipate. I mean, I auditioned for Dutch in 2008, but at the end of the day, it's not very different than acting. In fact, it's closer to, the misconception is that we're voice actors. And what, in fact, we did for 5 years was we'd go and we'd put on, spandex, which I made look, fantastic. You get covered with all of these balls, and then there's a helmet that these technical wizards put on your head, and it's got a camera. And so you and I would be intersecting like this on a soundstage. So if anything, it was closer to performing in conservatory, sort of back in theater school, than it was like, you know, we're memorizing the scripts and we're doing these scenes together. We're getting up and down on horses that are oil drums with saddles on them. But it was real fun and real sort of pure make-believe.
I mean, the thing that I find so fascinating about that series is it's really a return to the American myth. I mean, what is it about the Western?
Well, you know, it's the first film I think ever made was Western. And I think there's a lot of things that the West evokes. It's a bygone era, so there's nostalgia built into it. There's an idea that people are carving their own way in a world, and I think what Rockstar really did that's so exceptional with both Red Dead titles, it's the encroachment of technology and civilization on top of these free spirits and how conflict arises because of that. And I think that that's something that's part and parcel with every Western, but really Rockstar has figured out a way, I think, to tell a unique kind of a Western story.
I don't think we have any problem with encroachment of technology in our lives, do you?
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think this is the longest I've gone without looking at my phone in the past 2 days, so yeah, no problem at all.
Well, talking about Comic-Con, I mean, what are some of the things that people come up to you and they're interested to know, and then things that maybe they don't understand?
Well, I'd finish where we sort of started on that. I mean, a lot of people come and they ask about the booth work that we did, or because, again, voice acting has become this catch-all idea of what a video game is. And the reality is, if you've ever seen sort of behind the scenes of Avatar or behind the scenes of the Andy Serkis Planet of the Apes movies, that tech is much closer. So that comes up a lot, and I'm always happy to clarify that. But the thing about Comic-Con that, you know, I didn't ever really anticipate, this isn't something that you aim at, like getting to be a part of the, you know, John Cleese is over there. It's the community and the people that you get to meet. And everybody who's running this convention has been so magnificent. All the volunteers, all the man hours that go into just putting this whole thing together. It's really pretty extraordinary. And then on top of all of that, to get to meet these fans who some are driving from out of state and they've been on the road. You know, fathers have driven sons 4 hours round trip to be here. It's humbling and really gratifying, but it's an amazing thing.
I know that you're stuck behind the table quite, you know, for the whole weekend, but have you had a chance to go around Detroit, to look at Detroit? You've been here before? You got any good Detroit stories?
I haven't been. I have not been. I'm going to be in trouble because I've got a friend in Lansing who's got a company, Ide Brothers, but I was supposed to see him last night, and I was so exhausted that I just went back to the hotel, and I guess it was a month or two ago, the first convention I went to, we went to Kuwait. And I feel like I didn't even get to see Kuwait because it was, you are so exhausted from the journey. You go to these towns, but you really do, you're behind the table intersecting with them, and then you maybe have a nightcap and you go to bed, which is what I did last night. It was hardly exciting, but.
Well, when you get out of here, what's the latest for you, for people that are interested in following your work?
Well, I'm going to do a few more appearances on the convention circuit. Next week, I think I'm in Atlanta, and then I go to one in Hawaii. And then in terms of, I'm hopeful, you know, Thanos didn't snap me out of existence in the Marvel universe, so I think maybe Agent Burley might have some more to do. I'd certainly be delighted to work with Randall again. And then there's a couple of wait and sees, but I don't have anything definitive, but that's not uncommon as an actor. You go from feast to famine and back again.
So talk just a little bit of that real quick about your place in the Marvel Universe. You know, how would that come together for you, and how's it been?
Well, it's been a dream come true. You know, I was a Marvel collector as a kid. I mean, the first time I ever went to a convention, I was 12, and it was Secret Wars was out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm dating myself, but it's hard not to. But that came about. You know, I was loosely affiliated already because James Gunn had brought me in to do screen tests. I played Drax in screen tests for the original Guardians, for who they were hiring as Star-Lord. So I figured maybe he'd be the guy that would bring me in. But it ended up being Peyton Reed, this wonderful, wonderful director who I'd done a pilot with, I think, called Goodwin Games. And then I didn't hear from him for 3 years, and I get this phone call in the middle of while we're working on Red Dead saying they want you in Atlanta for a movie. We can't tell you what it is. And it was Ant-Man. But so that was great joy. And working with Randall Park, who is an absolute genius, as is Paul Rudd, was a dream come true. And then on top of all of that, I'm in the Marvel Universe, so it's pretty cool. I'm all right with it. I think that's awesome.
Well, you know, the line keeps growing here at Comic-Con. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Man, it's a real pleasure meeting you, and I wish I could have seen more of Detroit, but I know I'll be back, and it's a real pleasure meeting you.
Well, I'll give you one tip, and I give this tip to anyone who comes to town. If you're a music fan, you must go to the Motown Museum. Try to do that next time you come.
Oh, I love Motown. I've loved it my whole life. Of course I'll do that. But it's, again, wonderful to meet you, and it's been wonderful being in Michigan and being here for this convention. Has been an honor.
Well, thank you so much. And, of course, Freep.com and all of the Detroit Free Press channels. More from Motor City Comic-Con coming up all throughout the day. Take care.
That was a great interview, man. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Best to you. Cheers.